Welcome to Whiskey's a Journey, and welcome to my 150th episode of my Sip It or Skip It series. If you're not familiar with what's going on, I have all of my whiskeys in my collection randomized on my phone. I'm going to spin the wheel. Whatever it selects, I'm going to pull it off the shelf and do a quick review, let you know if I'm going to keep sipping on the bottle until it's gone and replace it because I like it, or once the bottle's gone, if I don't like it, I'm going to skip buying it and move on to something else. So go ahead and spin the wheel and see what we're doing today. I think they've all been good, but hopefully 150, this will be a special episode, but I don't control the wheel, so here we go. We are going to do Frey Ranch Farm Strength. So I think this is like their uncut, unfiltered. Let me go ahead and grab it, pour it, and then we'll do a quick review. All right. Okay. So Frey Ranch, we're looking at the Farm Strength, and based on what I'm looking here on the label, Farm Strength Uncut. This is 60.88% ABV. Not too familiar with this one. All of the information for this is right here, along with all of my tallies up to this point for this entire series. So let me go ahead and pour this thing. Yeah, I tell you what, they make the most industrial looking bottles and caps out there. If you are familiar with Frey Ranch out of Nevada, do me a favor, let me know in the comments down below which expressions you have and which one do you like the most. So let's get this thing on the nose. All right, this does smell farmy. It smells crafty, and I always have a hard time describing exactly what a craft smell smells like. And I think I've settled in on, I think it smells corn forward. I think it smells like hay or earth, not manure, but a barnyard floor kind of note. And it's not in a bad way at all. Being a bourbon, straight bourbon whiskey, this has notes that you would expect, a caramel, a vanilla, and a brown sugar. And that proof is just going right up my nose and stinging. All right. Stings the nose with the ABV. There is that barnyard floor in the best possible way note coming through on the nose. It's corn forward, and overall, I think it smells pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and get it on the palate. Yep, that is coming in hot with a good amount of sweet and spice. All of those bourbon notes are there. The vanilla, the brown sugar, maybe not a whole lot of caramel, but I think you can also toss in there a little bit of honey as well. There's a really peppery kind of Pop Rocks flavor going on. So I would say that this is spice forward, a little bit of sweet. I think it's more spice than it is sweet. And even though the proof is up there pretty high, I don't feel that it's overwhelming my palate where I can't distinguish the individual notes that are there. I also think that that barnyard note is definitely coming through. In the best possible way, it smells like a very clean barn. Wet hay, dirt on the floor, a little bit corny. Yeah, I think I like this a lot. That was my first sip. I do have to get acclimated a little bit. I think that second sip usually comes across as maybe a little bit more spice forward, which right now it's borderline, getting to the point where it's overpowering the sweetness. So let's see if the second sip is more in line with the first and that spice level stays pretty low. I don't have high hopes for it, but we'll see. So second sip, everybody. Second sip hits pretty hard as well. There is a very fleeting cherry note that quickly relinquishes itself to that pepper spice. Still pretty earthy, still barnyard hay kind of note, very crafty. As I'm sitting around here thinking about this and talking a little bit more, that finish, based on the proof and all of those notes, is not as long as I expected it to be. And I got to tell you the truth, that barnyard note does fade away rather quickly, and what I am left with is a nice bourbon note. There is a little bit of a grape note, and that cherry note kind of comes and goes, but it definitely does not stick around very long. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. So we're looking at $89.99. I do have a little bit of a soft spot for these guys just because I really do like what they stand for. You know, be good to the land and the land will be good to you. Well, I am going to say if I'm going to keep one bottle of Frey Ranch on the shelf, this is going to be the bottle that I'm going to keep. So based on that, this is going to be a sip for me. When this bottle is gone, and based on how, you know, very few times I reach for this and how much is left over in the bottle, this is definitely going to be on my shelf for quite a while. I think the other Frey Ranch bottles that I have, I've been using for mixers. I have gone through a bottle or two of that, but I think I'm going to shift gears and start using this. I really do like the proof. Yes, it might be a little bit too expensive to be putting into cocktails, you know, $90, but I think that flavor profile is going to hit home in specific cocktails. And you can also drink this neat. So yeah, I'm going to say that this is a sip. I'd be interested to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below what you feel about this bottle or Frey Ranch as a brand in general. And until the next time, wherever you are at in your journey, I hope you're enjoying it, and we'll talk to you next time.